everyone. Welcome to the restaurant, My Informative Speech. My name is Celeste, and I'll be taking care of you this evening. Is this your first time here? May I recommend one of our health specials? Words I've said a million times before. I've been a host, a busser, a server, a bartender, a manager, you name it. As a service industry veteran of 17 years, I know firsthand experience how grueling, exhausting, fun, educational, and lucrative the restaurant industry can be. Currently, we're in the middle of a national hiring crisis, so if you find yourself in need of a side hustle, consider the service industry. My top reasons for recommending this generation to try the service industry are great money, awesome hours, and life skills. Unlike a regular job, restaurants allow you to pick your hours at the last minute to get some extra cash. It is also easy to get your shift covered should you need the night off. Your hours can be as flexible as you are, working around your class schedule or a last minute Tinder date. Also, the money is just hella good. Boomers will hate on this industry because the money can be unreliable. I won't lie, I've been there when the tips are nil or a table walks out. That's right, I've had guests walk out on a $50 tab, and it was Christmas Day, and I had to pay that out of my own pocket. No one can promise you your paycheck. While yes, this is not the fun part of the job, it happens so rarely that the other days make up for it. Like when your favorite regulars bring you the new book from the series you're reading, or your coworkers bring in a cake for your birthday. If you know your product, follow the points of service, and provide service with a smile, your average weekly income could surprise you. Finally, working in the service industry teaches you a myriad of skills it is just nearly impossible to get in any other industry. You learn to manage your time and money while you develop people and communication skills. You learn to multitask, work in a team, talk an angry guest off the edge. It teaches you pragmatic life skills we millennials are so often criticized for not having. Skills you may yourself be lacking. Cooking and cleaning, how to brew coffee and tea, how to pair drinks with food, picking herbs, and learning a staple recipe. You don't have to make the service industry your career for a restaurant job to benefit your life. Just a moment ago, I listed a few ways you can help ensure your average income is sustainable. After years of slinging pizza and making drinks, I've been trained on how to serve by more than 10 different restaurants, from casual to upscales. If you find yourself about to dive into the service industry for the first time, here are 3 helpful tips for surviving your first month. Know your product, points of service, and service with a smile. Knowing your product may seem like an obvious suggestion, but how many times have you been at a restaurant, asked your server a question, and couldn't get a straight answer? Did that entice you to buy more food, add more courses, have more drinks? I'm sure it didn't. The process of knowing the ins and outs of your restaurant offerings, which enables you to suggest more expensive food and keep your guests satisfied, is called upselling. Upselling. A bigger bill usually means bigger tips. Bigger tips means more money. This is also where you learn how to pair foods and drinks and develop a more sophisticated palate in your own diet. In the same vein, it's important to be able to read your guests and connect with them quickly on a personal level. This allows you to tailor to their experience specifically to their needs and desires. Again, increasing your chances of a satisfactory tip. A good server accomplishes this by following points of service. Points of service starts when you acknowledge your table within the first 30 seconds of their seating. The major points to hit will vary depending on the restaurant where you work, but the goal is to create a natural flow of timely service. Your guests should feel as though you are anticipating their needs without feeling rushed or hurried away. Each course has its own requirements. It is important to Develop a rhythm in your own work and successfully hit each point during each phase. This can be as simple as refilling drinks without being asked, or as complicated as splitting a 20-person check. Hint, remember who ordered what from the beginning. Once you've mastered points of service, it becomes easy to turn many tables throughout the night while still giving your guest a friendly, personal experience. Last, but most certainly not least, you must provide service with a smile. Full disclosure, the restaurant industry can take its toll. Guests and coworkers alike can be rude and demanding. That's why it's important to leave your personal life at the door when you walk in, focusing instead on providing solid service and making good money. Honing this skill keeps you from burning out in the long run. And smiles are contagious, and guests are more forgiving when you are friendly. If you forget something about a product or miss a point of service, but your guests like you, your tip will probably still be decent. If you haven't connected with the table, if the guests don't like your attitude, they will be much harsher when you make a mistake and possibly stiff you on the tip. This helpful hint is the most important I have, and the hardest. Often in a restaurant, there are things you cannot control. However, as the face of the restaurant, you take the brunt of the complaints. Both you and your guest will have a better time if you can maintain a positive attitude. So, if I can wrap this up for you to take it home, my top 3 reasons for working as a server in these uncertain times are the money, awesome hours, and life skills. To get the most out of the restaurant job, remember these 3 helpful tips: knowing your product, points of service, and service with a smile. I believe everyone should experience this industry at least once in their life. There's so much to gain from this experience. Thank you for joining me today at my informative speech. All right, I've got your leftovers here. Thank you for joining us this evening. Now come back, now you're here.